estate agents, welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga. He is the man with the plan. How's it going, Joey?
What's going on?
Well, we've got an exciting guest on here today.
We do, from out of town.
Absolutely. Well, we are the Real Estate Marketing Maniacs. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. That's right. We've got Dustin Brohm with us today from Salt Lake.
Dustin.
How's it going, Dustin?
Going great, guys. How are you?
Good. So, Dustin, let me say, he's a realtor in Salt Lake City, but he also has a media company, Salt Lake Insider. He also has an amazing website called Search Salt Lake, and he's launched his own podcast, Massive Agent Podcast. He's on the show. He's going to share with us some of his successes, what he's seeing working right now online, and bring some real value to the show. So thanks so much for being on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. So why don't we start with how long you've been in the real estate business now, and kind of what got you into business?
Sure. So I've been licensed for just over 7 years. I got into the business in a really roundabout way. It all started, I look back at what started it, and it was reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I know that so many of us in not just real estate, but in business, somehow Rich Dad, Poor Dad is part of how we got started, right? And I read that. It opened my eyes to entrepreneurship, because no one in my family, no one in my family were business people or entrepreneurs. And so it was a totally new concept, and it opened my eyes. And then a few years later, I got fired from a couple of jobs, and I was, I was absolutely going downhill quick. And my mom dragged me to some Rich Dad, Poor Dad, weekend seminar or something or other.
Yeah.
And
pump you up, get you going type thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they actually gave some good content about real estate investing, and I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to be in real estate, but I just wanted to be an investor. I just wanted to flip homes, right? And wholesale, because wholesaling is the easiest thing ever. You work 2 hours a week and make $1 million a month, right?
Yeah.
That's the way they made it sound. And so I started flipping some houses, and I realized that if I really wanted to be an effective real estate investor, I had to get my license. And I met my broker. He's the president of our local association. And, I don't even know how it happened, but I was referred a buyer to go work with. And I'm like, okay, I'm licensed. Why not? And I loved it. They referred me to some people, and it just kind of grew into now, I don't worry so much about investing. I keep my eyes open, but I just like buying and selling homes, especially the marketing aspect of it.
Right. Hey, agents, if you're watching the video portion of this instead of the audio, you'll see the emoji that Dustin has behind him there.
The poop.
I thought that was a Hershey's Kiss.
Yeah, I always call it, the chocolate ice cream emoji. No, that's whatever.
He has a name. His name's Smelvin, I guess. The emoji actually has a name, Smelvin.
Smells a lot.
But what you don't see is the little mug too that my wife got me for Christmas. Those are both Christmas presents from my wife. Can you believe that?
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, the mug is a piece of poo too. It's awesome.
Oh, really, is it? Really it kind of looks like it might be something like that. All right. Anyway.
Yeah.
So why don't you share a little bit about your website, Search Salt Lake? I know you put a lot of work behind that. Your blog, kind of spun it into more of a media company at this point, and you've kind of got your own show there as well, right?
Yeah. So it all started when I discovered content marketing, and because the first 4 years or so in the business, I was struggling because I hated door knocking, cold calling. I got into direct mail, all this stuff, and it was all about trying to chase down business, right? Hey, I'm the best realtor on the planet. Hire me, that type of stuff. And if you're listening and that works for you, don't change. It just didn't work for me because I hated it. It didn't align with my personality and with my strengths. So then I came across content marketing. I got into blogging. I got myself a good website, and I just started writing some articles. And at that time, they were all real estate related articles, real estate topics. And I learned about SEO. And even though it was all the most confusing stuff in the world, but now I look back and it's like that stuff's easy. You just have to get started and do something and learn something every day and do something new. Right. But I started doing a bunch of that, and I started getting clients, and they'd find me through Google, and I'm like, this is amazing, free leads, basically, organic leads. And then I got into, I'm like, how do I get more? And I got into Facebook ads and all that. But I really kind of I started, like, I'm a cynical guy, and I think I kind of got sick of my own real estate content. And at the same time, discovered Gary Vee, that so many of us
Yeah.
watch and follow and look up to. And I realized that if I really wanted to do well, I needed to not do 100% real estate content. I had to be the local expert instead. I had to start doing
Right.
local content, like what, the best restaurants in town, like 10 best sushi restaurants,
Sure.
best coffee shops, whatever it is, like reviewing some new museum, whatever. And so I started taking that direction, started enjoying it more, started my own show called Salt Lake Insider. And I kind of put that on pause because I'm working on a couple other projects. But it's so powerful because you still get clients. People
Yeah.
still see that stuff. And,
Right.
and they're like, oh, that guy, he's a realtor and he knows the area, obviously, in their eyes. And that's who they need, is a local expert, not just the slick realtor, because there's 10,000 of us. So
40,000 here.
it's incredible.
Crazy numbers.
Phoenix is a big city, but that's insane.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was 40,000.
Yeah, I think last I heard, I think that like 8,500 people got a license last year.
Oh, geez.
Something like that. Anyway. All right, so no, that's cool. So then it kind of morphed into, so the Salt Lake Insider then, is that the one that's kind of about out and about around town and all that?
Yeah. Yeah. So Search Salt Lake is my home base for real estate. That's my real estate brand. And, I'm still active there. There's still a bunch of content on there.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? I want to create another media company that has nothing to do with real estate. And I could link the two together and kind of refer back and forth and link back and forth. But I didn't want to deal with having to disclose brokerage and all that crap. Like I just wanted a local media organization. So I started saltlakeinsider.com. So I took my show and I started embedding them and putting them as blog posts on that website. And I don't have that much content on there. I'm still building, but I'm really going to go hard in that direction in the next few months once I finish this other project. But it's amazing how many people you can get in front of as a realtor when you don't mention real estate. And that's why I did it.
Got it. No, I hear that from a lot of people that have really, well, not a lot of people. Not very many people are going to do this. But the ones that are willing to, right, the ones that are willing to step out and say, I'm going to create content that doesn't have to do with real estate. We've heard it, 100 times, right, from the people in our group to other groups that we know. I think that there was a podcast from Onion Juice, right, from Neil, where he was interviewing a guy from Colorado, and that was his whole thing, right, was created a blog about skiing and happened to lead to a lot of real estate business. So
it's amazing.
Same type of concept, right? So that's awesome. Hey, you're also kind of known especially in the Snap Pack group, right, as having lots of success with the Facebook ad strategy. So you want to share with us a little bit? Obviously, it's almost always agents that are listening in. So what's been kind of your best strategy or something you think agents could start with and get running?
Sure. The biggest tip and I'll give you a specific ad, like my best performing ad, I'll describe it for you. But they have to know this. There's so many gadgets out there, especially now with chatbots, and there's so many cool things. And we think that in order for the Facebook ad to be successful, it has to be fancy. It has to be over the top. It has to have amazing graphics that you did in Adobe After Effects and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It just has to get somebody's attention. And you have to really think about who you're trying to reach in the first place and what would get their attention. So my best ad ever, even though I've done the crazy fancy things that I thought was just going to kill it, and they bombed. They were, and my best ad ever is simply I took 10 images of homes in the Salt Lake area, actual homes, and that's the key. They have to be from your area. So you take your old listing photos or borrow some or something, and I put them in Facebook. Now this is a lead ad. My best one is a lead ad. So I'm using Facebook's lead capture form, and I take those 10 images, I put them into a slideshow. So when you're choosing the creative at the ad level, you pick slideshow, you upload the 10 images, I pick like, 2 second spacing, and I
Yeah.
put some music to it, and it creates a video. So it plays those 10 images as a slideshow video. And that worked very, very, very well.
Got it.
I've had it running for 8 months, 6 months, 8 months, and I have not hit, if you're running Facebook ads, this will mean something to you. If not, don't worry about it. It really hasn't hit a high frequency yet, so I'm not worried about it being overrun yet.
Yeah.
And
so
I
still
was
staying down below like 5, or is it down like 2 or 3, or?
It's in the 2s.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, which kind of surprises me, but
yeah, if you had it running that long.
Yeah. Okay. And I didn't over target on the audience either. I believe with that one, I just chose a certain income level. And the whole premise of the ad, was, so first off, the east side of Salt Lake Valley, the Salt Lake Valley is the desirable part of town. Most of the higher end neighborhoods are on the east side. And so people want to live on the east side versus the west for the most part. Okay. And the ad was, get a list of homes under 300,000 on Salt Lake's east side, because most are in the 400s and up. And so there are still like 50 to 70 homes under 300 in that desirable area. And so I just created a list on my website. It's like a saved search type thing. And then they opt in to get the list. It sends them to that saved search of those listings. And then, I've sold, I don't know, a dozen homes from that ad, maybe.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of target is that? Do you know how many, like, tens of thousands that started off with, or? I mean,
the audience size?
Audience size. Were you like at 50,000 or under? Or?
It's got to be under 50.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly. I want to say, I don't know, 20,000, 25, 30.
And you're not necessarily targeting homeowners versus renter. I mean, going after just renters, but you're going after just about everybody, right?
With that, I'm doing first-time home buyers.
Okay.
And income over, I think I do over 50 grand.
Got it.
All
right.
And the important thing, guys, if you're in San Francisco hearing this, these numbers are not going to work for you.
Sure.
You can't do this. So you have to adjust it for your area. And even Phoenix is different. So, think about a great part of town, find some homes that are in the lower price range, so that if you say, hey, there's a home in Scottsdale for, 300, and I'm assuming there aren't any, then that's going to get some people's attention. You just have to adjust that to your area. And that's
probably not
really
any
well.
that are like standing still, that is.
None that function as well.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's awesome, man. I heard a podcast the other day that you put out on your Massive Agent podcast, and it was all about value. So I appreciate you sharing your Facebook stuff. You're doing some awesome stuff with that. But what? So share with us Dustin Brohm's take on what does it mean to bring value.
Sure. So that podcast episode, I don't know. I was scrolling through Facebook, I think, and I saw someone. And they posted something it just irritates me now when people just provide value. And nobody knows what the hell that means. And so I wanted to define specifically how you could do that as a realtor. And it's so important because it goes back to, why my business took off when I got into content marketing. I'm creating some content, whether that's a video, an article, an ebook they can download, something that educates, teaches, helps somebody else.
Right.
And then they get that for free. And I don't even know that they got it. I don't know that Johnny is watching whatever video.
Sure.
But he got value from it. He then sees me as the local expert. And when the time comes to buy or sell a house, chances are he's going to remember that, hey, I taught him something or I provided something of value, and he's going to reach out. And that's how it works. That's the way it works. You just have to think of how you can create value out there and focus on that without expecting anything in return right away.
Yeah.
So specific examples of how you can provide value as a realtor. A blog article about something. And it could be humor. Humor is valuable.
Sure.
It's very valuable. If you make somebody laugh, if you have a great personality, making somebody laugh, entertainment, that's value. Teaching, talking about the 10 biggest mistakes first-time home buyers make, and teaching that through a video or a blog post or whatever, that's going to help somebody out too.
Yeah.
Talk about the best, where you can get the best food in your city. All of that, like, that's all
Right.
valuable stuff. The key is to just give it and make sure you're giving it to the right people. Like, so you got to learn how to target, and then and that could mean targeting through Facebook ads, Google AdWords, YouTube ads, whatever, or you have to learn SEO if it's a blog post.
Sure.
The key is to just not expect that if you write one article that 20 people are going to call you to list their house. It doesn't work that way.
Kind of like a viral video,
fast.
They think that they put out one video and it's going to work, right?
Right.
So I think the biggest, for sure. One of the biggest things I think that we see as we go around and we, do our classes here in the Phoenix Metro is a lot of times it seems like agents don't know what their point of view is. They're just not. It's either they're just not confident in a point of view or in how to share content. When I consulted at Infusionsoft for a while, that was the biggest thing too I noticed was it was very difficult for, especially in the real estate world, for people to come up with, gosh, I just don't know how to come up with content. I just don't know what message to put out.
Sure.
You see that a lot?
Yeah. And I used to be like that myself when I was getting started. But you should see my notepad on my iPhone or my Trello board. I have ideas coming out my ears. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
If you think that you don't know what to put out, you're overthinking it. You're really overthinking it. Just look, like, think about what you're doing that day. Like, if you're working on a contract that includes some clause, like, a buyer might want to know about that clause. A buyer might want to know how they can use that escalation clause to help them get a house under contract.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe it's not even real estate. Maybe last night you had an amazing dinner. So get on Instagram stories or Snapchat or Facebook Live and talk about it.
Right. No, it makes
people
sense.
are overthinking it like crazy.
Yeah. So if somebody does have a message they want to put out, what would you think, or what would you say is one of your favorite, or one that people definitely need to pay attention to as far as platforms to get that message out?
That's a great question. I mean, I want to, when I hear that, I immediately want to go to social media, but it depends on what you're trying to do. YouTube videos could be great, Facebook Live, blog posts. But if you don't have any of that and you're just getting started, you're like, hey, I need to start putting out content, do Instagram stories.
Okay.
Even though I love Snapchat, Jeff, and I know that's how you and I met.
Sure.
Instagram stories is just too damn powerful to ignore anymore. With the geotagging and with the hashtags that you can put into a story and hide, it's just, Instagram stories are way too powerful to ignore. That's what I'd focus on for somebody who's just barely thinking, I need to start putting out some content. I need to do something. Instagram stories and or Facebook Live.
Right. Yeah, so Joey and I went to I know you weren't there at this one this time, but I think you have a different event that you're going to later this year, at the Social Media Marketing World event, and that was one of the things they mentioned. I think it was Mari Smith maybe that said Instagram is Facebook's new Facebook because of how much. I mean, they're getting ready to announce, I believe, 1 billion active users, right? And I don't believe the algorithms are messed with as much right now. So it's probably a better platform to get started on. Yeah, I like that.
There's just more discoverability. You can get found through hashtags. You can get found through the geo story. Like if you, on the story that I just did, mentioning that I was going to be on this podcast, I put, my town. I put West Jordan, Utah. And so that goes to the West Jordan, Utah story, and anybody watching that will see that particular video, and that doesn't cost anything. You just have to take the time and do it, and no other platform has that right now.
Got it. And I think it's also important to know to really figure out the target, right? I mean, if your target are 50 and over, that maybe the kids have moved out, maybe be selective of what platform you want to start on, right? Because I believe you have to start on something. You get started. It's not probably the smartest thing to just put it out everywhere if you're not, efficient and proficient and consistent at least one, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's only so many hours in the day. That's just a fact.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, yeah, be methodical and intentional about, who the message is trying to reach and what you want to do. Are you excited to use Instagram stories and Facebook Live scares the hell out of you? Okay, embrace that for now. That's fine.
Yeah, I like that. I've heard agents actually say that about the real estate business itself. Don't go after a target audience or a market that you don't enjoy or don't like yourself, right?
For sure. Yep.
I think too many people, because as we go around and we teach this stuff too, it seems like I can ask the question, how many of you are willing to go to the West Valley, to the East Valley, to wherever you have to do just to get a sale? And a lot of people raise their hand that's just what they do, and I think that's because they don't have a focus on what niche they want to target or a focus on what area that they really want to be part of, and they just haven't put content out about those niches or that area, right?
Exactly.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Well, let's before we transition to kind of what you're working on and what you've got going on, anything you would tell somebody brand new to the business, or maybe they've said their business has slowed a bit? Any tips on what you would tell them as an agent to start doing right now?
I would tell them to clear the rest of today, sit down and really think about and analyze what they enjoy doing and and they have to be honest with themselves. They have to, they need to really dig deep and decide, what, I actually really suck at this. I really suck at this. And then don't do that. Okay. Focus on something else or find somebody to then fill that void depending on what it is. But if you're trying to put out a bunch of content and you need to create like some graphics for YouTube thumbnails and you suck at graphic design, go to Fiverr and have somebody do it. And if you hate it, don't do that.
Right.
So you got to think about what you enjoy doing and what you're good at, and then figure out how you could do more of those things.
No, that's perfect. No, I like that. Sounds like Chris Ducker. So I went to his presentation when at the Social Media Marketing World event, and he has a slide. He always tells people, he's like, just draw a line down the middle of the sheet of paper and write on one side, on the left side, I'm great at, and on the other side say I'm terrible at. Make your lists. Only do the things on the left side.
I like that.
Makes sense?
That makes a lot of sense. And I know that is truth because I went through doing all the stuff that I hated and I wasn't good at.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I thought that was the only way to be successful in real estate because that's what my mentor was doing. But he had a very different personality than me.
Sure.
So just know there's another way. Like you can be successful if you focus on your strengths.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so we're going to do things a little bit different. I'm not going to, obviously we're not going to do rapid fire today, but we are going to get in the ring with the maniacs, okay? And you're going to get in the ring right now. You good with that?
Oh, boy. Oh boy.
Yeah. Here, let's just ring that again. Anyway, okay, so this is the time. Why don't you share with us now? You're in the ring, right? Let's tell us about this new podcast you've got going on. I mean, I know it's been out for a while now, so it's not totally new, but let me hear what's going on with Massive Agent Podcast.
Well, it's by no means as big as the Weekly Closer. I mean, how many episodes do you guys have? Like 140, 120 something?
105, I believe, right now.
105?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Because I'm at 13. So
all right, there you go.
It is pretty new. Yeah.
Well, we have had so between our video views and downloads and audio downloads, I think we're up at just over 70,000 now. So that's done fairly well.
That's fantastic.
It's doing awesome. All right, man. It's doing all right. Well,
Absolutely.
You're on your way, right? Massive Agent Podcast.
1 week at a time. Yeah, I release a new show every Thursday morning, and the goal of the show is lead generation and how to, helping realtors and loan officers to sell more homes. How can you do that? So I'll talk about Instagram. I'll talk about Snapchat. I'll talk about Facebook ads. I'll talk about getting reviews online, like should you get Google reviews or Zillow reviews or whatever. And so each week I just try to tackle a new topic. At some point, I'm going to start doing more, just like my take on trends in the industry or whatever. But it's all going to be focused on helping agents to sell more homes through lead generation and getting their own clients. So we just talk about all the different ways that they can do that. And I'm having a lot of fun with it, recording another one tomorrow to be released Thursday morning. And then, onwards towards 100 plus episodes.
Yeah, there we go. No, I love it. So it's real estate agent and mortgage loan officer focused, right? With lead gen as the main message or topic.
That's the goal. If anybody's looking for ideas on ways to get more clients, that's what my show's for.
All right. MassiveAgentPodcast.com, right?
Yes, sir.
I know. I saw the site. Looks really nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I had TJ Kelly at Mixed Media put that site together for me on WordPress. It's a really good looking site. I'm impressed.
Awesome. Joey and I may need to talk to him. We got
you definitely need to talk to TJ.
All right.
See, do you know him personally, or just know of him?
Not personally, no. I think we've had one conversation before, but then everything's just been online, right? So I don't know him personally.
But you know his name, like you know who he is.
Uh-huh.
Okay. He's amazing because he's an SEO genius. He knows coding and websites, and he's a great copywriter too. Like he writes these big long articles for his own site that are so authoritative and so like deep into the details and concise too. So he's really like the jack of all trades. He's a very, very talented guy, and he's very active in the Snap Pack group, the Onion Juice group, his own group, the Easy Agent Pro group. He's just all over the place trying to help people. And, I can't recommend him highly enough. He is. He really is.
Definitely. So with the Massive Agent Podcast, you're also getting ready to launch a more of a coaching system. Is that right? Is that kind of how you would define it? Massive Agent Society, correct?
Yeah, the Massive Agent Society. It's a coaching system-ish. Okay. I guess that's a good way to put it. So basically, here's what I found. So there's so many people out there that know how to run Facebook ads, but they don't know what to do. They know how to do it, but they've never had any real success. And they're just like, just tell me what to run. Just tell me what ads to run. What audience should I target? What creative should I use? What type of ads should I run? Just tell me. And that's what so many of them struggle with. All my personal one-on-one coaching clients, that was their biggest issue, is just what type of ads to do. So I'm creating a database, if you will, a collection of a bunch of different Facebook ads that they can just copy and paste step by step, start to finish. That includes, download this image, use this audience, say this, use this headline, and, they can just log in, and depending if they want seller leads, buyer leads, if they want to use a chat bot, if they want it to be a messenger ad, whatever, they'll have this database that they can do. And, what really excites me too is, here's the thing with it. I'm only allowing one agent per market to join.
I was going to ask you that because I think that's what I think I remember you saying that.
Right. There's a bunch of different reasons, but the main one is this. I want it to be exclusive to where if you're joining and paying good money to run these Facebook ads, plus then you have to run the ads and pay for those. I don't think it's cool to have 14 other agents in your small town running the same ads. That's not good, Right. Yep. And so I'm really going to be a stickler. I'm really going to be a hard about one agent per market. Now they can bring a loan officer with them if they'd like, and they can join together at a discount, and they'd each have access. But aside from an agent and a lender in the same market, there's just one person per market because we don't want multiple people running the same ads. And the byproduct of that I'm really excited about is the referral network. So you're going to have one agent in all these different markets and loan officers in some of them. And so you have all these agents running running ads, generating leads like crazy. And now there's this built-in referral network that they can go to. And
Yeah.
when I find somebody who's moving to Phoenix, that I can go to the referral network, say, oh, Johnny's my guy, and refer them the business. And, it's just, it's going to be cool. We've already had a few people enroll, and it launches April 1st.
All right. Wow. That's awesome. MassiveAgentSociety.com, or is it themassiveagentsociety.com?
Yeah, www.massiveagentsociety.com has some info. Still getting the whole system set up, but there's enough there that you can get on our email list to get first dibs at reserving your market. And there's even a link if you want to get started and just do it like a few other people have. You can.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out how to police the one agent per market thing.
For sure.
I got to implement a system for that.
Right.
But right now I'm just doing it manually.
I remember back in the and thanks for sharing all that with us here and the listeners. I do remember back when we first met, online. One of the things you told me was with Snapchat, even that one of the biggest benefits that you had with that was that agent referral network.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of where you saw the growth happen more so than just generating buyer or seller leads from Snapchat. It was more building a group of agents who knew each other from different parts of the country.
Absolutely. Yeah,
that's great.
Nothing has changed my business and my life more than the relationships made on Snapchat. Wow. It's crazy. Yeah, so many doors have opened that led to this and led to that, and it's just crazy. And it's all because of relationships built on Snapchat.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. Hey, thanks so much for joining us today, man.
Of course.
Anything else you want to share before you hit the road and go make some media?
I got to be honest. I'm a little disappointed that I got into this ring and I'm still I'm not bruised. I'm leaving unscathed. So,
well, let's see. What can we ask him that might?
You'll have to kick my ass somehow next time.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know what? Why don't we usually have you draw from a mask, but why don't you tell us something about something that people don't know about you? How about that? Okay.
So, damn it, Jeff, you're pulling it out of me. So, of course, I don't have to tell you this, but it's pretty weird. So I used to collect Pez dispensers. I had a collection of over 500 different Pez dispensers, and I started collecting them in junior high, and then once I got out of high school and actually had some money, I started buying a bunch of them.
Yeah,
and it took up almost half a room in my house, and so before my wife and I got married, she made me sell them all. And but yeah,
were they collector's items at that point?
Most of them, no.
Well, I guess when they're used, they lose value immediately, right?
Yeah, but most of them were in their packages and stuff. But
really?
I had a few that were from the 70s, really weird ones, psychedelic hands holding eyeballs.
Okay, that's different.
Bizarre stuff, yeah. Yeah, don't even go down that rabbit hole. But I was going to
ask you what your favorite one was, but
what was mine? I guess I don't really have a favorite one. It may be the psychedelic eye one, just because it's unique and weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's very weird. Yeah, you should see this freaking thing.
All right, man. Well, hey, we wish you all the luck with the with the launch. I know that's coming up soon. So, wow, coming up real soon, actually. Yeah, man. Well, good luck with that, and thanks so much for joining. As always, bringing good value, because I've seen you do some of your other shows or recordings there, or not podcasts, I guess, but some of your live stuff in the Snap Pack group there. So definitely appreciate it, man. Thanks so much for being on. Dustin Brohm again. Check him out. Search Salt Lake or Salt Lake Insider, the Massive Agent Podcast. Thanks, Dustin, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff. It was a good time, man.
All right. Hey, guys, until next time, this is Jeff Underwood and Joey Sampaga from Security Title Studios, signing off. Have a fantastic day. All right. Good job, guys.